Hello, loves. Happy 100th anniversary of Black History Month. Let's talk about some of our Black heroes with some Did You Know? Did you know? Let's start with Percy Julian. He was a research chemist and pioneer in the chemical synthesis of medicinal drugs from plants. First, he synthesized a natural product which was used to treat glaucoma. He was also a pioneer in the industrial large-scale chemical synthesis of human hormones. His work laid the foundation for the steroid drug industry's production of cortisone, other corticosteroids, and birth control pills. He started his own company to synthesize steroids that intermediates from the wild Mexican yam. He received over 130 chemical patents. He was one of the first African Americans to receive a doctorate in chemistry. He was the first African American chemist to be inducted into the National Academy of Sciences. Now let's talk about Nat Turner. He was an enslaved African American that led a rebellion of slaves to free blacks. He was nicknamed the Prophet. He was a preacher that traveled from plantation to plantation, ministering to slaves the word of God. He said that God spoke to him to lead a revolt and to unalive his oppressors. He used his preacher network to build his rebellion for freedom. His fight for freedom unalived 55 white supremacists. He was hung after being judged and sentenced to death. Now let's talk about Nina Simone. She was a singer, songwriter, pianist, arranger, and civil rights activist. She always included songs in her repertoire that drew upon her African American origins. In 1964, she openly addressed racial inequality prevalent in the United States with her song, Mississippi Goddamn. The song called for racial relations to change and for more immediate developments. The message to the public signified the transition from nonviolent approach to social change that was advocated by Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. In 2000, she received the Grammy Hall of Fame Award for the interpretation I Love You, Porgy. In 2010, a statue in her honor erected on Trade Street in her native Tryon, North Carolina. Now let's talk about Muhammad Ali. Ali was a boxer and activist. In the 1960 Summer Olympics, Ali won gold in the light heavyweight division. In 1967, he was convicted of draft evasion and was sentenced to 5 years in prison. He was also banned from boxing for 3 years and fined $10,000. This was after he refused the induction to the United States Armed Forces. This was due to his religious beliefs and also the opposition to the Americans' involvement in Vietnam. He promoted racial pride for African Americans and resistance to white domination during the 1960s civil rights movement. He is widely regarded as one of the most significant and celebrated sports figures of the 20th century. He is ranked as the greatest athlete of the 20th century by Sports Illustrated and the sports personality of the century by the BBC. Our last activist, Paul Robeson. He was an athlete and performing artist that became involved in the civil rights movement. He was the first black actor to play Shakespeare's Othello on Broadway. He supported Pan-Africanism. He sang for Loyalist soldiers during the Spain Civil War. He took part in anti-Nazi demonstrations, and he performed for Allied forces during World War II. He was labeled communist and staunchly criticized by government officials and some African American leaders. He was blacklisted from concert venues, record labels, and film studios. This was due to his advocacy of anti-imperialism, affiliation with communism, and his criticism of the United States government. In 1950, the U.S. State Department barred him from renewing his passport for travel engagements abroad. Different path, same courage. Which story stayed with you the most? Share your thoughts. Let me know.